For this video, we will go over the SWOT analysis for Big Laurie. The SWOT analysis is performed by identifying the most important strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that a company has. Strengths and weaknesses are internal factors derived from the internal factor evaluation. Opportunities and threats are external factors derived from the external factor evaluation. The SWOT analysis is an essential tool for management teams that help them use the IFE and the EFE to determine what are most important weaknesses and threats that they have to address, as well as the biggest strengths and opportunities that they have to go forward with. One thing that is important about going through all these steps is that managers and executives often feel they know the biggest factors that their company is facing. But tools like these can help them to determine what the root of the problem actually is, or the opportunity may be the strongest. One of the major points is to make sure that not just one person is making the SWOT matrix. It works best with multiple inputs from different people who view the company in a unique way. Lastly, because it is such a useful tool that does not take a significant amount of time to construct, some people would suggest that teams remake or start a new SWOT analysis from scratch every few months or maybe once a year. Management may not realize how much of their business has changed in such a short period of time. Some of the most important opportunities that Big Laurie has are in its international expansion. In terms of its expansion, Big Laurie has only started to break into other countries around the globe. However, studies have shown that emerging markets like China, India, and Brazil have strong growth in their desire for American fast food joints. These types of countries have traditionally not wanted these food types and restaurants, but the demand has been growing at an accelerated rate compared to the rest of the world. Steak and Shake has taken a step to move into different markets, but has a huge opportunity to expand and get in the action of building a brand overseas and in different cultures. On the other side of it, one of the largest threats to Big Laurie comes in a form that threatens many quick service restaurants. Rising health concerns pose a huge threat to the entire industry. Every year, more reports and news come out about issues that are caused by the fast food industry. This has no doubt led to a drop in foot traffic in quick service restaurants. The more that people decide that they don't want to eat at a restaurant that may not give them great healthy alternatives, the larger of a threat that is seen by these companies. Moving towards the internal side of things, Steak and Shake has different kinds of strengths, but one that should be highlighted especially is their cost leadership. Their ability at some franchises to keep prices under $4 is a huge positive for many customers. These low prices are one of the things that separate them from quick service restaurants that are not able to keep prices so low. On the other side of the spectrum, a major weakness in Steak and Shake's business is their inability to do their business efficiently. The company has a gross margin that is so significantly lower than the rest of the fast food industry that they are at a huge disadvantage. The company should be looking internally to determine why and how it costs so much for them to do business, and see if there's a way that they're able to cut costs. This is very likely crucial for them to compete with some of the bigger, stronger, and more efficient franchises. Next, we will discuss some major strategies that come across in the SWOT analysis. SO strategies are strategies that can be construed as strengths that can also be used for opportunities. For Steak and Shake, a major SO strategy is their strong distribution networks, which they can use to try and expand internationally. The ST strategy is a strength that could lead to a threat. For Steak and Shake, this could mean their strong pricing strategy that helps them compete could be threatened by higher prices and rising costs. This is what is causing tension between corporate headquarters and the franchises that are struggling to keep prices so low. Next up is the WO strategy. The WO strategy is a weakness that could lead to an opportunity. For Steak and Shake, this could be seen as their low market share, which makes it hard for them to compete with the bigger players. However, the opportunity is for them to expand and reach new markets, both within the US and internationally. These new markets might just be waiting for a franchise that is exactly like Steak and Shake. Lastly, we have the WT strategy. The WT strategy is a weakness that can also be linked to an external threat. For a restaurant that has a menu of milkshakes and steak burgers, it already does not have a very diverse menu. Now, if we look at the bigger picture of people becoming more health conscious and being concerned about fast food, there's a much larger threat of people deciding that Steak and Shake is not healthy enough to dine at, and the company starts to see even less foot traffic than it did over the last quarter. One of the biggest takeaways from the SWOT analysis is that the weaknesses are fixable, the opportunities are certainly there, and the threats are not subject to just Big Laurie and Steak and Shake. There are issues that threaten the entire industry. They certainly have a chance to turn the company around and improve sales again.